Hey folks, in today's video we're going to look at the top 8 most frequently asked questions about Portland Community College's Whiteness History Month project. Why Whiteness History Month? Because we wanted to reframe how race and racism gets talked about. Often we talk about racism in terms of its effects on people of color. We boil it down to individual mistreatments, which make it easy to lock it away in the past. But how and why racism exists never really gets talked about. Our project hopes to look at that so that people can better understand how racism affects everyone. Why refer to it as a History Month? Well, let's start by looking at the full title: Whiteness History Month: Context, Consequences, and Change. By context, we're looking at how whiteness was created and changed over time. Consequences looks at who this construction benefited, and change asks people to look to the past for solutions we can use going forward. It's history, people. So why a month? Because structuring this project over the course of a month gives more people the opportunity to participate. Cramming everything into a 2-day conference or 1-week event would limit the number of people who'd submit proposals and attend events. We want this project to be open to as many people as possible. Isn't the term whiteness derogatory? Actually, finding the word whiteness derogatory and polarizing is yet another reason why Whiteness History Month is needed. We didn't actually come up with the name. Whiteness as a concept has been referenced by scholars like James Baldwin and W.E.B. Du Bois, and it's been the focus of academic studies since at least the early 1990s. Here again, history people. It's not so much that whiteness is derogatory, it's that it's uncomfortable. We don't like to talk about race, especially when it feels like we're focusing the conversation on one group. But the truth is that we're all impacted by the system of whiteness, and talking about it is actually more inclusive. Isn't this just singling out white people for blame or shame? How does targeting one race end racism? The word shaming is not anywhere in the project description, and it's not the intention of this project. Instead, the project is about exploring a difficult aspect of racism: whiteness. Maybe people immediately assume that talking about whiteness is about shaming because of the emotions that are raised. And in many ways, people may be forced to confront their beliefs and actions that perpetuate racism. But the focus of this project is not on those individual beliefs or actions, it's on the system that creates them. So it's not about shame or guilt, it's about education and empowerment. Doesn't talking about the problem make it worse? The problem of racism is already causing harm for students and members of the PCC community. Whether it's in diversity council meetings, the multicultural centers, affinity spaces, or student-led research projects, our community is filled with so many stories of hurt caused by racism. Just because you aren't experiencing it doesn't mean it's not happening. And to question, deny, or explain away the lived experiences of people because you don't see it or it makes you uncomfortable is disrespectful, condescending, and it perpetuates racism. So yes, talking about racism may make people feel uncomfortable, but maybe it's time to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, to directly answer that question, no, because talking about racism will never be more harmful than actual racism. How will Whiteness History Month improve campus climate? Because many of our students of color report feeling marginalized both on campus and in the classroom. The project provides context for why those inequities exist. Having a deeper understanding of our students' lived experiences allows us to examine our own policies, practices, and structures to see how those factors might contribute to our students' feelings of marginalization. Can you see how this might affect retention? Isn't there only one race, the human race? I can see why you would say that. But here's a more realistic way to think about it. This is a $1 bill. This is a $20 bill. Would you trade me this $20 bill for this $1 bill? No. Why? Because our society has placed different values on the $1 bill and on the $20 bill. They're both made from the same material. They're both dollars. But our society views those two pieces of paper very differently. This would fill up my car. This won't even get me a bus ticket. So, saying there's only one race ignores the historical values that have been placed on certain races. Biologically, yes, we are one race. But unless we question why legally, socially, and culturally we've been separated into different races, we get nowhere. Why can't we move beyond racism? We're trying to answer that very same question. One potential reason is because we're afraid to talk about it. Another is that we haven't talked about it in a way that is historically accurate. And yet a third is that we only feel comfortable looking at the harm it causes, and only to people of color. But by providing people context and broadening the conversation, we genuinely hope to make progress. Well, that's all for now, folks. Check us out at pcc.edu/WHM for more info on the project and our calendar of events. We'll see you in April.